Somebody said that based on the amount of money he funneled into the Biden campaign, you could make an argument that Biden would have lost without it. Is that a bold statement? Is that possible?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you look at the overall money, now individually, he gave Joe Biden $5 million, right? So that's not that massive amount. But here's the really interesting thing. To get around political maximum contributions, they would break down their contributions into many, many, many other people's names. So we don't even have the full picture yet of how much went into the Democratic Party. And look, there was money that went to the Republican Party as well, but it dwarfs into comparison. I mean, look, money buys elections. People know that, right? Like, obviously, I think it's like, if you go back through history, it's almost the number one, whoever raised the most money won the election every time. There's some stats to back that up. I definitely believe that without FTX's help and without, Joe Biden receiving all this money from Sam Bankman-Fried, that it definitely would have been a much closer election. And if you look at the midterm elections as well, there's a lot of questionable stuff that happened on the Republican and the Democratic side when it came to FTX. I mean, literally a line on the FTX balance sheet said, Trump lose. That was one of their items, and there was millions of dollars dedicated to that. So I definitely believe that happened. And when you look at, SBF's tentacles and how far they went into, let's say, Twitter, we don't know that yet. We're not sure how far all this went. But yeah, I think that is definitely a fair assessment. I think raising less money, especially millions and millions of dollars, could have had a definite effect on the election. And
with all the split contributions, this could be 50, 100 million or plus dollars going into Democratic Party. I think he was quick to say, I gave Republicans money through other vehicles, but we don't know if that was a knee-jerk reaction to where he didn't just get said, oh yeah, I'm with the leftist media. So we still can't confirm that, right?
Well, he definitely did give money through Ryan Salame actually was the main person that they were giving money to the Republicans through,
right?
Which is quite interesting. But Sam literally said he didn't want to give money to Republicans publicly because the left would have criticized him for it.
Right.
It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Fascinating.
But I think when you look at the Republican side of things, they really did give money to Republicans. And it makes sense because, look, they were trying to buy political favor. It wasn't as much about one party winning or the other. They just felt like the Democratic Party, I believe, they did want them to win, but they wanted to have both sides covered. They wanted to hedge both sides in case the other side won, that they have their claws into Republicans as well. Because when you look at what they did with the DCCPA, which now is most likely not going to get passed because Sam touched it, we had sent our bill, our bill, which will be public later this month, to FTX for funding. That's kind of how this whole thing started between me and Sam. And they sat on it for 3 weeks. And during that 3-week period, that's when he went behind our back, tried to sabotage our bill, tried to steal our political backers, and then tried to go to all the senators and get on the DCCPA. That's the time frame when all this happened.
This was 6 months ago, roughly?
No, this would have been September. This would have been August, the end of August through the middle of September is when all this happened.
So that's when you really started having beef with Sam, 3 months ago.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he tried to steal, I can't wait till I say who the person is. Can't say who the person is quite yet, but he tried to steal one of our main political backers from us.
Right.
And this person came and told us everything that they were doing. And thank God that this is a loyal person to us. And that's how everything started between me and Sam, because you don't freaking steal from me. I'm doing this out of my good, sending you this thinking you're a good actor and you want to help us with fair crypto regulation, and you slap back, try to steal people from me, and then you go try to create your own regulation through the DCCPA, stealing senators that were going to back what we were doing. It really, really felt very personal at that point, and that's why I wanted that personal moment with him. I want him to have nightmares about me when he's in prison.
Right, because you wanted crypto legislation that was fair and would promote peer-to-peer use of crypto. And he was busy working on legislation that was going to be very favorable to exchanges like his, basically. And it basically giving money to both parties to push that whole bill and agenda through. And he probably would have been successful if he had kept going at that rate. Yeah.
I mean, if everything did not unravel, but you know what? I don't think it would have been successful. Let me say this. And I know Charles Hoskinson. So Charles Hoskinson is someone who we also sent our bill to funding. We sent our bill to him for funding. He declined to fund it. And there was some reasons, and we talked about those reasons. And I actually told him what Sam was doing. And before I even told anybody publicly, I told him what Sam was doing, and he confirmed behind the scenes that Sam was doing all the stuff I said he was. And I thought that was, very interesting. Charles has a lot of good ties into politics as well. But when people found out that he was pushing a federal bit license, the worst piece of legislation in the history of crypto is the New York bit license. There's no way the crypto community was going to let that go. There's no way that bill was going to end up passing in its current form or in its previous form, because people were just not going to be okay with that. They were not going to be good with, that kind of legislation. There was going to be a huge outcry, and you saw it. Once he put out his manifesto, before it even was uncovered that they were insolvent, he was already having to back away from a lot of the language that he was using because the crypto community was never going to allow it. The fact that he thought he could just slide this through and people would be like, oh, sure, let's only favor centralized exchanges is really asinine to me. And it really showed his misunderstanding of, the environment that he was in. He was never a crypto guy. Sam Bankman-Fried was never a crypto guy. If you ask him about this, he'll say, I always saw it as a good opportunity. That's all he'll say.
Yeah, and that I've said this recently on one of my shows. If you look at Sam, he was a risk arb guy. He started doing it to make money, right? Risk arb. And he could make money with this spread, and it was all about making money. And I'm not saying, we'll talk about CZ in a bit, but like there's other actors in the crypto community that got into crypto because they love crypto. They love the concepts of crypto, the transparency, the trustless, the peer-to-peer value. And if you do look it back, and I know hindsight's 2020, you're right. This was a guy that got into it to make a lot of money, as opposed to for all the altruistic reasons that crypto exists. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's of course been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.